Happy Saturday, folks. And today on Who Would Win, we look at Goku versus Thor, brought to you by Anime Ninja and CMJ. I was surprised more people hadn't given me this one. Only about two people I could find suggested these two. Thor is the god of thunder and Odin's son in the Marvel Universe. Goku is obviously the main character of the Dragon Ball franchise. Who would win in a fight? Thor is an Asgardian. He is a god to us. He's actually not really. It's difficult to explain how like gods are not gods, except they are. Like Odin is a god, but in his own people, he's not a god. He's just Odin. By all intent and standard, though, yeah, the Asgardians are a race of gods. They do have certain level of physical abilities well beyond that of a human. Thor being the son of Odin, he's got a bit more on that. He's a bit more on the godly plane of existence. Not only is he physically tough enough to go toe to toe with individuals like Sentry, the Hulk, Thanos, fast enough to cross the universe within 5 seconds thanks to Mjolnir, wielding Mjolnir, a magical hammer, that is basically whoever is worthy shall be able to wield Mjolnir, able to generate lightning, control the weather, durable enough to survive, made in the heart of the star, durable enough to survive pretty much anything short of molecular manipulation, reality warping. And not only is he durable enough to go toe to toe with some of the heaviest hitters and still dish out as much damage as he's taking. Not only is he strong enough to lift the World Serpent, destroy planets in a clash with Gore the God Butcher, but he also is tapped into a part of the Odin Force, which gives him even more power, cosmic power, including like his oh god, what was it called? Thor blast. The blast. It's basically a blast that he uses to just destroy a planet. He used this technique at one point to basically knock Ego, the living planet, unconscious. He has lived for millennia. Had that much experience, combat experience on him as well. He is a technician. He can go into Warrior's Mantle, which increases his abilities but loses self-control. He is one of the strongest heroes in the Marvel Universe. There are characters that can still whip his ass, but the tier of characters that exist that can whip his ass are on the less. In terms of all Marvel's characters, there are fewer that can beat his ass than the ones whose ass he can beat. So yeah, he is more than capable of going toe to toe with some of the heaviest hitters of the Marvel Universe. Maybe not coming out on top, but he could go toe to toe with Galactus. Probably lose that fight, but still, dish out a lot of damage. Goku obviously is the lead in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT. He is a Saiyan born and raised. Well, this is a story all about how his world got turned upside down. What's Planet Vegeta, born and raised? No, he was born in Planet Vegeta, being a Saiyan. He was sent off before his homeworld was destroyed, his head, and became all good and stuff. That is literally his backstory. There's more to it than that, but that's the general gist that people always know and need to know. As an adult, Goku is the strongest character in the series, save for individuals like Jiren or Beerus or any angel. Like most gods of destruction, are still probably above him. Although I'd be willing to bet he's stronger than a couple gods of destruction. Maybe not Beerus, but a couple. He is a master martial artist, having been trained since being adopted by Gohan. And he's probably one of the best martial artists in the actual series of in the anime world. Arguably the best one in the Dragon Ball universe, although you can make an argument that there are some fighters who are better than him because of their tactical abilities, like Vegeta and Piccolo. But Goku's go-with-the-flow nature, I think, has kind of put him above that, which is why he's able to tap into Ultra Instinct. Goku obviously has many energy abilities, ki-based abilities. Energy Blast, his bread and butter is Kamehameha, but he also knows instant transmission. He can basically teleport wherever he needs to. He has copied a lot of techniques, including the Solar Flare, used for blinding opponents, Destructo Disc, used for cutting up opponents. He also has the Spirit Bomb, Kaioken, which Spirit Bomb, drawing life energy from the surroundings into a giant orb of death for anyone evil. Wouldn't work against someone like Thor, though, so we're probably not going to really be getting into that. Kaioken obviously multiplies his abilities by a certain multiplier, but the strain on his body gets higher and higher the higher multipliers we go. Um, then obviously you get into his Saiyan transformations. Super Saiyan is 50 times his base, and all of his abilities are enhanced from there. Super Saiyan 2 is double that, so it's 100 times his base, to double Super Saiyan. Then you go into Super Saiyan 4, which is 400 times his base. That being said, it's about maximizing ki consumption, and it really drains his stamina. Then you get into Super Saiyan God, and his initially him going into this form allowed him to clash with Beerus, and they nearly destroyed a universe that's 9 times the size of ours. So God Ki Goku, upon his first usage of God Ki, was about 9 times universal. Then he gained that power. See, here's one thing I always was a question on. It's like he absorbed some. I thought he absorbed only some of it into his base, because if he absorbed it into his base when he went Super Saiyan against Beerus' attack, shouldn't that have just been 50 times what he was doing? What he was using against Beerus prior to that, and then therefore shouldn't Beerus now have to worry more about? See, I've never interpreted it as that being his true base. Now it was more that he absorbed a portion of that into his base. That's how I interpreted it. But maybe I'm wrong. For the sake of argument, and what most people seem to go with, we'll say that that initial God transformation became his base form. But then you have to factor in that now all of his transformations on there are that much stronger. So instead of being 9 times universal by our universe standards, by Super Saiyan 4, he's about 9 times 50, 9 times 50 is 45. So you're looking at 450 times. Actually, you're looking at 50 times. Well, no, yeah, you're looking at 450 times universal. Then you're looking at 900 times universal. Then you're looking at 3,200 times universal. And that's before going back into God Ki again. Who knows how much stronger his God form was now at that point when he used it again to turn him into power. And then you got to factor in Super Saiyan Blue, which we don't even know the multiplier on that son of a bitch. There's so many different theories on what the multiplier in Super Saiyan God is, Super Saiyan Blue, Ultra Instinct, all that. I kind of try to, mine changes like with what ifs and who would wins and all that stuff. So I couldn't really speak for certain. We can just go by feats. One day I'll do power level videos. I was thinking about doing that a while back and I never got to it. But one day I'll probably get around to doing that and figure out what the numbers might be for that. But Super Saiyan Blue, we know, exceeds Super Saiyan God. And then you had Kaioken on there. It's something where it's like, wow, he's that much stronger. And even then, he couldn't take on Jiren, whose power was literally making a infinite void of nothingness shake. But then he went into Ultra Instinct. Now, Ultra Instinct obviously is, first off, a real-life thing. It is something where your body learns to react on its own without you having to think. It's like if someone comes and I just react, on instinct, Ultra Instinct. Your body is now just moving without thinking. But it's treated as a technique. It is just a real-life technique in life. It's not increasing your abilities at all. But in Dragon Ball Super, let's not kid ourselves. It's treated as a transformation because Goku's power clearly skyrocketed when he went into Ultra Instinct Omen, or its sign, depending on your translation of it. Ultra Instinct Omen, and then Master Ultra Instinct, I think, is probably actually the same power level. It's just that now his offense is equal to his defense on that, so it's fully realized. But yeah, at hitting Ultra Instinct Omen, his roar was doing what Jiren's power up was doing, is shaking the world at the infinite void, basically. At that speed, at that point now, how strong is Goku? That is anyone's guess, because he was already clearly universal thousands of times over. And he was clearly verging on multiversal just by the sheer level of power he was displaying. So it's hard to imagine where Goku probably lies. But Goku still fucks up from time to time, like he got blasted by Frieza's goon in the chest, like because his body just wasn't prepared for that. He can still lose a fight, like as long as there's someone stronger than him, he can lose a fight. So, and Goku's a little too naive and kind, so he does have a tendency of letting shit happen that it shouldn't. But still, Goku is one of the most powerful characters, honestly, in anime. I mean, in terms of raw power, in terms of like abilities, that's a different thing entirely. You can get someone who can warp reality on a whim, and there you go. Goku's kind of done. But regardless, who would win in a fight with these guys? Goku maybe winds up in the Marvel Universe through shenanigans, very likely. Maybe he wishes to fight someone strong through Dragon Balls, and they sent him to that universe. Thor's there, and they talk. And Thor sees him as a threat, and he's like, "Well, you're pretty sure. Wait, well, all right then. I was looking for a fight." And they square off, and they fight. And Goku isn't someone to go all out from the get. He does want to fight. Scale up his fight, his power, and test his opponent. So in base, how will Goku fare against Thor, and then leading up to the stronger forms? In base, Goku probably is. Oh, let's be honest. Goku's probably stronger than Thor in base as it is, because Thor isn't a multiversal he's not a universal level being. His clashes have not shaken and threatened to destroy the Marvel universe. Goku's has the Dragon Ball universe, not the Marvel universe. That being said, Thor's still highly durable, physically stronger than Goku right from the get, right, quite frankly. Because we know that while Ki can be used to enhance physicality, it doesn't immediately translate to raw strength. We've seen that because Goku powering up, just powering up and using his Ki doesn't mean he can suddenly lift 1,000,000 tons or anything like that. And base now, he's got his God form enhanced in there. That's not the case. So these two clash, and because Thor wields a weapon, he can throw Mjolnir and bring it back. Goku has to try to react inside, but he has to avoid Thor as well. So does he avoid Thor or does he avoid the hammer? I think he avoids Thor because he's trained as a fighter, but immediately he sends the hammer. Unfortunately, gets knocked right in the head, and it just knocks him back. Thor, then someone brings down the lightning, starts striking Goku. Goku blasts the energy Ki blast. Thor barely dodges, but he's able to dodge it, and then just rushes Goku, who, if he can travel across the universe in 5 seconds, yeah, it's likely Goku actually is outmatched in terms of raw speed, at least in terms of traveling speed. And he slams right into Goku, his wind's knocked out of him. Suddenly uses Solar Flare right up close, and then Super Saiyans smacks right into Thor again. Now you're getting into super high multipliers where Thor, the higher and stronger Goku gets, the worse it's going to be for Thor. The only thing, a God Blast, that's what it's called. I'm thinking of the God Blast. The only thing Thor really has that could put down Goku is maybe throwing all he's got with Mjolnir straight at Goku's head to try to take his head off. Or B, a God Blast at point blank range. But even that's only maybe above planetary to some degree. It's one of those things where Thor has tremendous. I was trying to say immense and tremendous, tremendous power and skill, and he's certainly no slouch in a fight by any stretch of the means. But Goku, once we got to Super, I don't even argue once we got into late Dragon Ball Z, but once we got into Super, that's where the power scaling got ridiculous for Dragon Ball characters. And Goku, unfortunately, is right at the helm of that. His power is such that once he goes honestly into Super Saiyan alone, I don't think Thor can play catch up very well. He just isn't someone who's equipped to. He doesn't have the power on call to really handle someone like Goku once you get into that power level. Hell, Death Battle, spoilers for the Broly versus Goku Hulk fight, they confirmed that Super Saiyan 3 Goku alone is 30 times stronger than the World Breaker Hulk. So, yeah, and honestly, even Super Saiyan is stronger. Just Super Saiyan Goku would be stronger. If you scale that back, because that would make him, because the times 4 of the Super Saiyan 3 multiplier, that would put, I'm doing the math real quick in my head here, around 7.5. Yeah, 7.5 times stronger than the World Breaker at Super Saiyan 2. And then if you scale back, because that's double that makes him still about 3.5 times stronger than World Breaker Hulk in Super Saiyan form alone. So, yeah, that's World Breaker Hulk. So, Thor can match Hulk to some degree, but he's not at the level of Hulk, ultimately. Like, he has limitations on his body, whereas the Hulk can revert back to Banner, but technically has no limitations. And there'd probably actually be very few individuals hard-pressed in the Dragon Ball universe to really take on Goku. One above all, one below all. Those are givens because they're the de facto demonic and divine being of the universe. Living Tribunal, absolutely. Galactus would probably be a contender in that category. Um, Arguably Thanos, but the circumstance around Thanos is debatable. Hyperion, maybe. Any of the cosmic entities like Eternity, um, Divinity, like what? Eternity. I think it's Madness or something like that. Though they would probably be up there, but because Universal is a very big concept and number, Goku, unfortunately, I think does win in a fight against Thor. If Thor is to beat Goku, he's got to beat him in the early game before Goku even transforms once. That's the only scenario where Goku probably could lose. And the logical scenario would be that Mjolnir comes in, he rushes and just knocks Goku's head right, just straight out, just cold clocks him out cold. That would be the only scenario where I can see Goku losing that fight is in the early game, or a God Blast point blank straight to Goku's face, or just at him. Goku might not be able to survive that at point blank range, especially if Thor's putting everything he has into the blast. But ultimately, I am going to go to Goku, and that's again just because Dragon Ball Super power scaling got nuts. It really got nuts. But look, maybe you think I'm dead wrong, and if you do, that's cool. Put in the comments below. Let me know why. Or maybe you agree with me, and that's cool too. But if you got a suggestion for a who win, what if, Star Wars, Magic, superhero, Lanticore video, anything I did in the channel, put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get that at some point. Hit that bell if you want notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.